What's up, y'all? It's KB. And just like you, I love movies. As you see, I have my man GC in the house. I just
Du
love that. And
dude, what's
just
going
like
on,
me,
man?
what's going on with the government names? I'm not even going to ask you what that means because it's nobody's business. You know how many times I get people saying, "So KB, what does that stand for?" I say, "My government name." Are you the
Dude
government? No? Then you don't need to know my name.
dude, and I love the ring to it, KB and GC, like, I mean, you get it, bro? What a
Yeah.
team.
Hey, tell Lee I might be coming for a spot. You better watch
Uh,
out.
there we go.
But yes, we have JC from the YouTube channel. He also has an Instagram and a whole bunch of other things called Face the Music. Tell the people about your channel, man.
So for my channel, Face the Movies, we have a little variety of everything. Weekly, I have a live stream called Cinema Rewind, and this series mainly focuses on picking one movie each week, something a little bit older, more nostalgic, or hidden gem. And I talk about it with my co-hosts, which is Steven from After Hours Video and Jordan from the Movie Den. And we usually have a special guest come on, which KB, I'm gonna have to have you on there soon, man. And I was talking about
I'd be
special guests,
honored.
like, dude, it'd be so much fun. And yeah, we do that every week. I do have my podcast with my co-host Lee from Cinema Whiplash, which is called Friday Night Fright Night. Do an episode every week on Fridays, and just uploading usually review videos every now and then, and just haul videos, stuff I find in thrift stores, like movies, soundtracks, books, and just going from there. Still building up. It's about to be a year, so
Mhm.
still getting some good, trying to get some good content out there.
Yeah. The one thing a lot of people say, "Oh, maybe he doesn't care if you've been on 3 months, a year, whatever, he'll have you on the conversation." And the one thing I always look for is someone who's passionate about movies. And I saw that with both you and Lee when you guys started Face the Movies. And then I see that in every video that you do individually, live streams that you're on with a bunch of guys. We had B-Dubs on last week, so I see the passion that you have for movies. And what I like is that you're just discovering. You know what I mean? You're just
Yeah,
discovering movies as you go along. So, there are things on your channel like your first Criterion and first
yeah,
time you order from Vinegar Syndrome and things like that. All good videos. You guys should check it out at Face the Movies. But I just as I was watching the videos, I try to do research for these things. I just started to develop questions. So I like the fact that when I said, "I got a lot of questions for you," you didn't appear shook. You're
no.
like, "Bring it on, man. Let's talk movies." I like that about you. We are not alone. We got some people in the chat room. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. If you have any questions for me or GC, please throw it in the chat. Make it movie related, please. Uh, Thank you for those of you who are lurking in the background. We see you. We see you there. And
Oh
of
yeah.
course, everyone on the rewatch and the replays, thank you. Please feel free to leave comments, all that stuff. Like I like to tell people, hey, it's free. All you got to do is like, subscribe, and enjoy. And that's what we want you to do here. Do those three things, and we're straight. So let's see who's joining us in the chat, then we'll get to the questions. We got my man Steve Moody in the house saying good evening. Good evening to you, sir. everyone in the chat. Hope you all doing well. I had a good day, man. Hope you did too.
What's up, man?
Oh, we got to come up with a name. I was joking with Brian on Instagram saying we need a name for this collective of friends who are all movie lovers, and he said, "What was it? The League of Extraordinary Collectors."
Dude, I love that. That's
I love
amazing.
that. I love that name. Well, we do have one of the gentlemen in the league here. We got my man Q saying what's
Oh,
up to everybody.
love
What
that
is up,
dude.
my
Q's the
man
best,
Q?
man.
We got we got my sister Mika in the house. What is up?
Hi, Mika.
Saying hey to everybody. We got Mr. Adrian James on the check-in. Hello to you, sir. Everyone saying hi to each other. Love that. Loves that. Don't want to miss anybody.
It,
Uh,
it's funny
let's
because
see.
Q was the one that recommended me, and I remember
Yeah, yeah,
watching that. I was
yeah.
like, dude, I'm honored. Are you kidding me?
He's a good dude. He's a good dude. We had fun on our conversation
Oh
together
yeah,
for sure. Yeah, everyone's saying hi to each other. My sweetheart is in the house. What is up, Draculina? What's up, Caprice? Saying hello to everyone. Saying hello to
hey,
you, and of
Draculina.
course to me. We got Michael in the house saying hello. Hello to you, sir.
What's up, Michael?
Um, Try not to miss anybody here. If I do apologize. Uh, we got Brother Dell in the house saying, "What's up? What is up, my
Dell.
man?" Check out Dell on movies as his excellent movie swap. He got one coming up next week. So just to let you know, I know these things before you do. Check them out on Tuesday for sure. Everyone, keep the chat going. If I missed anybody, just let me know. QX, am I in my new spot? Yeah, man. I am. Me and GC was just talking backstage. It's
Yeah,
not ready for prime time. I'm using my laptop. I'm not using my desktop. Should I show them the mic?
dude, do
This is
it.
my mic that I normally use. It's not even on the stand. My desk is a mess. I feel almost uncomfortable when I come down here because this is not my
Yeah.
normal Zen spot. I even have my favorite flowers here. I got my flowers
Oh,
here, and it's still not Zen-like. So I gotta put some work in this area to make it my own, including moving Sir Hitchcock. I'm gonna move him over here. Still need him over my shoulder, but I have something coming there soon that's gonna replace him, and y'all
that's
are
what it
gonna.
is, man. Like the littlest thing will be out of place, like in my little
Mhm.
area, and it just feels off. So I can only
So
imagine.
weird.
Yeah,
And it's
man,
a whole
moving.
area, bro. Like my basement is the length and width of my house. So the length
Wow.
is like where my viewing area is, where I got the big screen OLED and my movie chairs and all that. But then over here is like a nook before you get to like the unfinished side. So this is supposed to be my office space. My dogs are getting used to me being upstairs. When I come down here to work, they're gonna be like, "What are you doing? What are you
I have
doing?"
my little dog. He's like a Dutch Hound mix, and
Hmm.
he just hangs out with me during these things. Like I have his little bed set up next to me. And he just hangs out, and sometimes every once in a while he'll get fussy and just jump on my lap, and you'll see like his
Yeah,
head
yeah.
pop up, and he just passes out.
And then
It's
you
like
have a shepherd too.
I do, yeah, man, Maverick. Yeah, yeah. He I think
Yeah.
he made an appearance in the early videos once. Mainly vocally, because he's I mean, you know how shepherds are.
Yeah,
They
vocal.
hear anything and just start barking away.
They hear a weird voice and they're like, "Who are you? Why
I
are you
always
in my house?"
Dude, I always panic when I'm recording a video because I'm like I'm always worried, especially like when I'm close to the end, he's just gonna bark his head off. I'm
And
like,
mess it all up.
yeah, just kill the
I
rhythm. And I'm like, where was I?
I saw the collar last night. That's why I was like, "Ooh, that's a big dog."
Yeah, that
The
collar was
Stephen King
so
collar.
awesome.
Yeah, that was a good live stream you guys had last night. I went back and I listened to the rest of it, just to catch up because I popped in late. But, yeah, it a lot of Stephen King adaptations, but not all of them, I would say, are great.
Exactly.
A
Yeah.
and the source material might be, but adaptations, whether they take liberties or not, usually don't always hit?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's it's
First.
hard, man. It's hard because like everybody has a different type of imagination. So you could read a Stephen King book but you may
Mhm.
not grasp it how Stephen King wanted you to grasp it, regardless of the writing itself.
Right.
So when people take on these adaptations, they're not seeing it through his mind. And you have certain directors, you have two directors in particular that have been able to pull that off, but
Mhm.
then other people, it's like they get close, but it's just not enough. It's not enough
Yeah.
madness in there to kind of grasp
Yeah.
that evil
I think,
genius or
Mike Flanagan definitely is on the
oh
pulse
yeah,
with Stephen King, you know, whether it's Doctor Sleep, Gerald's Game, w Life of Chuck, which you say you need to check out, so definitely
yeah.
do that. Yeah, announcement, since the beans are spilled, Q will be my guest next week on Movie Swap, so check out Q the Movie Collector on Dell on Movies, Movie Swap on Tuesday. That should be fun.
Nice.
Uh, we got Guy in the house saying, "If you love KB's flowers,
To
please
make
make
sure.
sure to hit the like button and subscribe to both." Yes, please subscribe to GC. A lot of great content. Show him some love, and you know, if you like this and you come back all the time, please, if you're not already, subscribe, hit the notification so you'll know when we're having the next one.
Doesn't cost
Um,
anything, guys.
it's free. It's free 99.
Absolutely
Just
free.
do it. It's just do it. So we were talking movies before we started,
Yeah.
and we're just going to continue the conversation for the public here. So I was thinking about, like I said, you're in this like discovery phase of movie watching and movie loving and everything, but there has to be one. If there is a film that you watched like the first time and it didn't vibe with you, but because you got the disc, you went back, you probably gave it another rewatch, and it changed your mind. I know you got one.
Man, it's so this is gonna be oh man, that's all. Maybe a few people might hate me after this, but so
Make sure it's not one of your 5 takes, because 'cause we'll
oh no,
get to that.
no. So I think the one that changed my mind a bit for sure. It
Mhm.
has to be the first Friday the 13th.
Okay.
I think that for the first time I saw it, I mean, obviously it was with younger eyes. I was
Yeah.
about 16 years old, and I saw it and I was like, it's okay. Like it wasn't
Mhm.
anything, got me excited or I was like, I need to rewatch it. And then as I watched it last year, it was interesting. Like it definitely changed my mind. I was able to appreciate it a little bit more.
Mhm.
I'm pushing 38 now, so as I gotten older, I've learned to appreciate slower movies, more intellectual type films that really sit with you and make you think and process things, process life. I've
Yeah.
appreciated silent films, black and white films, things that 10, 15, 20 years ago I would have never cared for. But I'd say from the top of my head, that's one that really changed my perspective.
Other films in the franchise you appreciated more when you first saw it, and just that one didn't vibe, or the franchise overall?
I think as the franchise progressed and Jason became Jason, because I know
Mhm.
the second one I enjoyed as well, and not saying that I didn't like them, but it was just I think it took me up to the third one where he's obviously got the get up, the mask, and everything, where he really,
That's mine.
yeah, it's Jason,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
before then, it was like a slow, little by little, going up those steps and appreciating more and more until it's like you finally have that figure and you're like, okay, here we go. It's
Mhm.
not like other franchises like Nightmare on Elm Street, was right off the bat. I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah. I, I know that you're into vinyl, and right
Yeah,
before we got on, I was, just going through stories, and, Jake from Steelbook Obsessed posted that Waxworks is doing, a special vinyl pressing of part 3 with a lenticular cover, so it
I
looks
saw that
3D.
today. Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah." I've been having this thing because I have my DJ set up over here, and my wife gave me the idea of, like, putting, like, my favorite albums or nice albums in the background. So then when I set up my 4K camera, it'll be like a wide angle. And I was like, ooh, I might need to get that. But people talk about the price of movies. Vinyl ain't cheap either. That joint is
No.
45 bucks. And part two, which is just an average score, in my opinion, is like 30. So it's
Yeah.
like you know, don't tell me anything about buying that $45 Vinegar Syndrome movie when it's a $45 piece of vinyl, and that's cheap. Some of
Yeah.
them are even more expensive.
You get the CD for like 13, 15 bucks, or even if you
Mhm,
find it used, 10 bucks. You could just
mhm,
download it, burn it, but it's
yeah,
it's a dangerous hobby because
it
I feel
is.
like with the arts, with literature, music, movies, if you enjoy one, chances are it's like a gateway drug, and next thing you know, you're like, "Huh." I mean, you like movies have
Mhm,
music in it, so then you want the soundtrack, and then you go vinyl. It's like
yep,
45, 50, 70 bucks for one, and next thing you
mhm,
know, you got vinyls, then you're getting the books, and you
yep,
run out of space pretty quick.
yeah. Um, Hold that thought. We're gonna talk more about physical media. I just wanna go
Yeah.
back into these comments real quick. Yeah, Flanagan, love him. His take
Yeah,
on Joel's
absolutely.
game is so good. It is. That needs a physical release, no doubt. We got John Doe Juggalo in the house. What is up, Jeff? Saying hi to everybody.
What's up,
What is
Jeff?
going on? Can't find the original comment that when you popped in, but everyone's saying hi to him, hi to each other. Yeah, Dell agrees about Joel's game. Yeah, Carla in anything. I'm so
Absolutely.
glad that she's one of Flanagan's favorite actors because she'll just show up. Like when she showed up in House of Usher, I was like, okay, whether I like this first episode or not, I'm watching the whole thing just to
Yeah,
see her act. Yeah, she's my girl too. I like her.
she's
Pushing
amazing.
38, you young whippersnapper. I'm sure you don't feel like that all the time. You know, it's hard being the old guy in the room sometimes.
Man, I definitely feel it, man, like 38.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I just especially being younger and being into, like, rock climbing and all this extreme type stuff, like, your
Mhm.
body, you don't realize it, and as you get older, you're like, "Oh, my back hurts for no reason."
Yeah, it's true. Q says, "Hearing that GC makes me think back to when I watched The Exorcist for the first time in my
Yeah,
teens." Yeah, it's always interesting when you watch a movie maybe too young, and then you come back and watch it again. Like, the other night I watched Hellraiser, and honestly, I probably watched it in '87 on VHS, probably once or twice more on DVD, and I was like, "It's alright." The music is
yeah,
great, excellent score, but all the stuff, all, like, the deeper stuff, I was too young to grasp. You know, there's a lotta elements of a lot of things in that movie, and I haven't seen any of the sequels, but from what I hear, you're not gonna pick it up in the sequels the way you do in the first one. So watching it now, I'm far from 17, so it's like, "Oh, okay, I see what's going on here."
yeah, it's like
So it's
movies
a
like Ca
little bit different.
Casablanca, Casablanca is
Yeah,
one that I could never watch when I was young, and then
mhm.
I watched it last year for the first time, I was like, "Wow, this is incredible."
Yeah, to go back to that question that I asked you, that's my answer, Casablanca all these years, because people sold it to me as like a romance film, and I was like,
Yeah,
"This movie's kinda trash for all the praise that you people give it." And then I went to film school and I watched it there, and they said, "This is not the romance is secondary, there's so many other things going on," and I focused on that. I love that movie now, I got 4K behind me,
yeah.
everything. So it's all about your perspective and sometimes how you approach a movie and when you approach a movie. Let's see. Yeah, Jeff says get you to 500. You're not at 500 yet, bro?
I'm trying. I have a giveaway going on right now. That when I get to 500, I wanted to give
Yeah,
away the Ninja Turtles 4K Arrow box set. So
yeah,
I was trying to do that, and yeah, just I mean, little by little, man, just building it up, and just grateful that people subscribe in general, and they just want to hear me ramble sometimes.
yeah. Hey guys, if you guys are enjoying this conversation, just pop out, open up another tab, give him a follow. Even if you leave early, hey, we appreciate the time you spent with us. But if you like, do it for the voice because I always like people who have also a nice, cool, soothing voice like myself. So do it for the voice. He has good content too. So definitely do that. I saw a couple other people pop in here. Yeah, Dell is saying he can't get into vinyl, can't afford that second habit. I don't do it as
That's
much
a
as I
tough one.
used to. I just focus on one at a time.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
Yeah,
tough,
you
man.
wanna post the link. I'll post the link later on for sure, and it's also in the description down below as well. So definitely give him a follow that way. Saying hi to everybody.
We
Let's
got a
see.
nice crowd going. We
We
got I feel a
do.
few faces I recognize for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff's mom. How's it going?
Hey,
What's up, Shella Shell? We got Married to Media in the house.
there she is.
Um, yeah, it's hard. The doubles collect vinyl as well. It's hard when you got the multiple things. I know Caprice does as well. She collects vinyl too, movie soundtracks mostly. So when you have those multiple collections, I always think of my man Floyd Houseflex. He's a sneakerhead and
Oh,
he collects movies. Whew, that's
oh,
dangerous because
that's a tough one.
he's dead stocking kicks, not just buying it to wear, but like dead stocking
Yeah.
and that.
It's
It's a
hard,
lot,
man. I
bro.
mean, anything
It's
with
a lot.
movies and sneakers, vinyls, like paintings
Mhm.
or old books, like
Yep.
it's a dangerous road.
We got Mr. Tony in the house, Basement Blues. How's it going? Good to
What's
see
up,
you, sir,
Tony?
as always. Yeah. Q as well. Sneaker collecting is big money. I was looking at a
Yeah.
pair of J's for the fall and I was like, oof, I forgot what this feels like. Ooh, it's a
It
little
is,
rich in my
man.
blood. That's like 3 bills right there. That's a gas
Yeah.
bill, that's a water bill.
That's the car plus insurance.
Yep, that's insurance right there. Yeah, you if you're doing multiple collections, you can't dead stock kicks, that's for
Yeah.
sure. No way. We got Princey Prince in the house. Thank you, Mr. Tony. You just popped it up there.
Oh, thank you, Tony.
Um,
Appreciate that, man.
yeah, he's a good dude. We got Princey Prince in the house. I'm jumping all over the place, people, but I wanted to get back to what we were talking about with having that passion for physical media. Like I said,
Yeah.
I had B-dubs on last week, and I asked Brian to describe that passion of like when you first get something, like something you were waiting for or whatever. Um, so along those lines, with being passionate about physical media, just off the top of your head, what's a movie that you believe hasn't received the 4K release it deserves? Not like Terminator 2 and you want another one, but something that we haven't seen yet that you want on 4K.
Man, I think a movie I would love to see on 4K would be a movie called Brain Scan with Edward
Yeah.
Furlong.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
dude, that one is so good. The story, the soundtrack for it, and it's just one of those nostalgic. If you grew up in the '90s, I mean, you know this movie. So much
Mhm.
fun. I never hear people really talk about it,
You
and
guys
it's
did a
just
review of that, right?
we did, yeah. We talked about that one back in early days of the channel, and
Yeah.
it just has such a special place in my heart. I mean, I could just throw it on at any point and enjoy it, but I feel like that one would be good on 4K. I know during the time that I reviewed it, I was like, "Eh, you know what? I wouldn't care for it because the Blu-ray looks fantastic." And it's also one of those movies, even on VHS looks great. But
Yeah.
now after marinating with it, it's like one that it's like, you know what? It would be nice to have the 4K restoration, see how that looks. Maybe have some more behind the scenes, maybe a little documentary, like a better documentary for it. Maybe have Edward Furlong come back and talk about it. Think that'd be kind of
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah. It'd be good to see him because we haven't seen him in a minute.
Yeah,
We
man. He did so many great things back then. And it's just kind of, I mean, I know with everything that happened in his life and stuff, but it kind of sucks because he was onto something. Terminator 2
Yeah.
and all those fun movies that he was doing.
Yeah. We thought he had a future, honestly. Back then, we
Yeah.
thought, "Hey, this guy's gonna be in a bunch of movies going forward. We're gonna get to see him grow up on screen and everything."
Yeah.
If you didn't see, we got one of your followers that popped in here. We got Ellie in the house popping in
Ellie,
saying, "Hey."
hey. She was hanging out with us last night too.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. She was in the chat. Yeah, there she is, saying hi to everyone. Yeah, there's a lot of movies. For me, it's I always get the name wrong, but
Is it, let me see. Is it, like, early '90s?
Yeah,
Okay. I'm telling you, that's a golden era, man. '90s, early
yeah, Near
2000s.
Dark.
Near
I
dark,
want near
okay.
yeah, I want Near Dark to get, like, a nice release. I think that'd be really cool.
Near dark.
Uh,
I'm
yeah,
trying to
check
remember
it out.
who's
It's hard to find too. It is really hard to find.
Oh, I don't think I've seen it.
Oh,
Bill
bro,
Paxton
if
is
you
in it.
get your yeah, it's one of Paxton's, I think, better movies, but because
Wow.
it's a horror movie, it's not held in a high esteem like a Aliens or
Yeah,
a Twister or what have you, so but it's really good. Yeah, 90s movies are underrated, especially when it comes to, like, not like big blockbuster movies, they're gonna get their
yeah.
shine, whatever, but like, lower lower level, like mid-level or low budget movies that had actual good context to it, so underrated, and a lot of it is starting to come back, but you'll see more of the big budget stuff even if they didn't do well, getting physical releases, and it's really sad.
I
Um
mean, oh, I was gonna say, look at a movie like Idle Hands, for example. It
Yeah,
bombed in the box office, like, bombed, and then once it came out
yeah,
to physical release, I mean, it just completely blew up, and it's such a hidden gem of a movie. I mean, you have, like, movies like Disturbing Behavior in the '90s, that,
mhm,
Event Horizon, and, I mean, Lawnmower Man, to me, that's one that I know some people give
yeah,
a lot of slack
Back to
because of the
King.
CGI, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
so good,
but
man, like
that's what was available at the time.
yeah.
Tony adds, "I want a legit Near Dark edition in my collection." Sounds like you got something smelly in there right now, no names mentioned, but, yeah, Near Dark is a great movie, and, Mika just said the main reason why I want it. Near Dark would be great, directed by Miss Catherine Bigelow.
I'm
She
gonna
low-key does a lot of great movies that people either don't talk about or don't recognize that she did.
yeah.
So, Hurt Locker, of course, everybody knows, but there's a lot of movies that she did that either people don't know she did it or don't give enough shine to it for sure.
There's a
Mostly
there's a lot
go
Oh, sorry. No, no, go ahead. Sorry, man.
go ahead, please.
Oh, no, I was gonna say there's a modern director that for the last few years, she's done some really good stuff. Her name is Britt Marlin, and I'll talk about her a little
Mhm.
bit more in the conversation later on, but she's one of those as well that she does such captivating movies that really stay with you afterwards, really make you
Yeah.
think. I mean, you're kinda just contemplating life itself, your own mortality, and the decisions we make. And that's another
Mhm.
like low key director that not many director slash actress that not that many people know about or talk about. And there's just
Mhm.
people like that we need to kind of bubble wrap and really give them more opportunities to get out there and make some more good stuff.
What genre do they focus on?
Uh, so for her to kind of they're a little interesting. Like I could tell you, for example, one of the movies called I Origins. And
Mhm.
with this movie in particular, it has to do with so it's a scientist that he studies like the eyes, and he's trying to prove that when you die, you come back as
Hmm.
someone. Like you come back, and the way to prove that is because your eyes are like fingerprints. So nobody
Yeah.
has the exact same pair of eyes. You can have the same colors, but that's what he was trying to prove. It's your fingerprint almost for your soul. And those are the type of movies to give you an example. She does another one called Another Earth that it's pretty much about literally another Earth appearing out of nowhere, like right next to
Hmm.
Earth, and you'll see throughout the movie progresses, it gets closer and closer, and
Yeah.
it's a decision where you have to make where if are you going to go to that Earth and see what's out there, and also because it's a duplicate Earth, there's another version of you there. So I mean, those and again, those are the type of movies where it's I don't even know what genre to give them more than just
Yeah.
thought provoking, maybe um like, very intellectual, like, Criterion style films.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
but it sounds like it could be sci-fi, it could be
a little bit, yeah,
drama,
yeah.
but like you said, thought-provoking at that.
Yeah, definitely drama. I would say drama for sure, and the sci-fi element's definitely there, but in the best way.
Yeah,
It's not over the top sci-fi. It's just
yeah,
it's pretty grounded, and she does a good job with writing in like a lot of science that's modern and makes sense, and it makes it very
yeah.
believable.
You mentioned in the beginning, I'll get to the comments in a moment, just keep them coming. You mentioned in the beginning the different live streams and podcasts that you do. Most of your focus, I would say not all of it, but it's heavily on the horror genre, I would say. But is there like another um, genre besides horror that you think doesn't get enough attention by the mainstream? Because I think like you look at this year, Don't Look Back, Sinners, which is horror adjacent to me, but,
Yeah.
uh, um, it's a great year for horror. I'm not gonna just name all of them, but it's a great year for horror movies, but what is another genre that you think is needs a little more love and is not getting enough attention, especially by mainstream audiences, theater goers, and physical media collectors as well?
I feel like comedy, and obviously with comedy, it definitely goes with the times. I think
Mhm,
that we had a golden age in comedy where everything was out the window. You had movies like Step Brothers, Dodgeball, Old
mhm,
School, where you could literally say anything. I mean, you had shows like The Office, where you just said the craziest things and people just laughed.
yeah,
I think we live in an age now where comedy's different. Back then, it didn't have like an electric collar over its neck. Back then, it
mhm,
was just free roaming, and now it's just you say the wrong thing, and you get shocked type
yeah,
situation. So I think that's why people have started pivoting to horror because for some
yeah,
reason it's interesting with horror. I mean, we see things like Terrifier. I mean, they really it's out there. You know,
yeah, it's
some of
no
these kills.
limits.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no limits. But then with comedy, it's like you make one comment and it's worse than watching somebody get decapitated a certain way. And
yeah,
I'll say this, I have been doing a lot of horror, like lot of talking about a lot of horror movies, but it's mainly also because we're kind of in that season. For me, I
mhm.
have to say, even though I love horror and grew up with it, it's not my primary genre.
Oh, okay.
That I yeah, so it's as you see after Halloween, you're gonna start seeing a lot of more different comedies and dramas and a lot of other stuff coming to
Mhm.
the channel because I mean, you can only do so much horror, but at the end of
Yeah,
the day, I also wanna talk about stuff like this, like I Origin, movies that really make me sit there and ponder life and ponder my existence and just sit with me for like a week or a month and make me think about
yeah,
every little decision that I make compared to just seeing people get decapitated. I'm like, "Oh, that was interesting," and after that, I kinda just forget it. I don't really sit there and think about it for, like, the next day or
right.
2.
You want something that'll stay with you more
Yeah, man,
for a good reason.
yeah, I'm drawn to movies that make me feel,
Mm,
and it's always been something for me that I need to feel that connection. I know with
yeah,
my upbringing, I was raised by my grandparents, and
mhm.
I've always gravitated to the movie The Cable Guy because that was me growing up as a kid, man. Like I was raised by TV. I was like my
Yeah, yeah.
family was Married with Children, The X-Files,
Mhm.
Tales from the Crypt, and I'd stay up late at night watching these things and The Simpsons and just learning and I mean, so that's what I always go for. When I try to watch something, I really want to like feel it. I want to forget that for that hour or two that I'm in this world and I just want to be so immersed that when I come out of it, I'm just like, man, like wow. A
Yeah,
good recommendation is called Adopt the Highway by Ethan Hawke. And
yeah,
that movie, man, afterwards, it just really, like, stayed with me. Like, it made me feel, like, almost like, not I'm obviously, I'm alive, but it gave me that extra, like, I'm still human with everything else going on in the world. Like, my
mhm.
moral compass is still there, like, and all these things, and it made me feel something.
You just sparked a whole bunch of comments. I love it.
Oh,
2 things
man.
I'm gonna say about, comedy. Good choice, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
think one, 70s, 80s, 90s kind of was, like, wide open, say what you want, do what you want. If it's too much, it's never gonna go past, people renting it or whatever. We had stand-up comedies, we had Eddie Murphy all the way up to the Chris Rocks and all that. Cat Williams, so forth. And then the 2000s, I would say, with the Apatow movies and all that, I think that was the last of the traditional comedy movies.
Yep.
And the other thing is the only type of comedy that is theater worthy today, as far as the studios are concerned, and I've seen at least two of them in the last 3 months, are awkward comedy. So
Yeah.
movies like Friendship, or I just seen Splitsville on Sunday. Those type of movies are what's being, because it's almost safe in comparison to, like, a Blazing Saddles, or, something that's wild and outlandish like a Old School or something like that, or Hangover. The credits alone for The Hangover at the end could not be done today.
The
So
footage.
it's just crazy. I wanna get back into these comments because what you were
Yeah.
saying, for one, it was clip worthy, so I'm definitely gonna use that for a
Well,
clip.
I do wanna add one quick thing, before
Yeah,
we
please.
check the comments. I So one thing I've noticed, and I think
Mhm.
you guys will start seeing this as the year and the next year progresses with comedy. I think we're shifting from kind of slapstick, just not throwing, all the regards out the window, to we're going, and you see that with the Death of a Unicorn.
Yeah.
But I saw that movie recently, it was on HBO, and I just I finally figured it out. I think comedy is going to the direction of making fun of the new generation, and you see that with Adam Sandler's new movie, Happy
Mhm.
Gilmore 2. They're just now just starting to make fun of the new generation. I saw it in both movies where they're making fun of, like, the vaping, the cell phones, this and that,
Yeah.
and I think
Bodies,
that's
Bodies, Bodies is another example of that.
yeah, same thing,
Yeah.
yeah, man, and we went from just kinda making fun of life and all these other things to kinda now, they're targeting the people that were complaining about these things, so they're almost going
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you guys are kinda funny with the way you do things this day and age, so let's make fun of
It's
you
like
instead."
generational comedy, because the
Yeah.
same thing, I didn't see it, but I hear Clowns in a Cornfield is kinda like towards earlier generations, so it's it's interesting, it really is. I'm trying to go back, so many great comments, what you said was so good,
Oh,
bro.
yeah, man.
Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. So
Oh,
going back
uh,
to what we were talking about with, Catherine Bigelow, um, a lot
yeah,
of
people
great
got
comments.
excited, man, they were
I
like
know, right? You just woke everybody up. I love it. This is a great time to remind you, at Face the Movies, wherever you could find it, go ahead and give that man a sub. You could get great insight like this on the YouTube. He's a fun follow on Instagram. Oh my gosh, I'm just going back. Okay, here we are. So people forgot about Candyman in the 90s. Very true.
Yeah.
Um, or you're like me and didn't watch it until a couple of years ago. Thanks, Dell. That was the first movie swap. um, Talking about Catherine Bigelow, that she made movies that, yeah, men don't want to give her the credit for. Very true. Um, yeah, oof. And then when you were talking about, yeah, here it is. Oh, this chat is so weird.
Sometimes it's hard. I know for Restream for me, whenever I try to go back up after a while, it
Yeah.
gets rid of the old comments for
Oh, it
some reason.
does.
Yeah, I noticed that in one of the live streams. So next time I'm gonna try to keep an eye on that. But yeah, it's hard sometimes, man. So many people excited and
I
you know,
know, but it's like, um, if I scroll up, the moment I go to click on something, it jumps back down.
it
Like,
does.
if
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was to if I was to say, "Everybody stop chatting for a minute," I wouldn't do that, but, basically, that's what I have to do, because every time I go to click on something, it jumps back down to the bottom. Okay, so that was Dell's. Took me a while to get back there, but, talking about Bigelow and her making movies, so true. Other Earth, Another Earth, really underrated,
Yeah.
overshadowed by a similar, oh, Melancholia, I remember that. Sci-fi drama. Okay.
Oh, Melancholy. Yeah, man. That's what Kristen Dunst, I think.
Yeah, people agreeing. We got the third KB in here, said I never seen Another Earth. We'll have to check it out, girl. We'll have to check it out. That's my daughter.
Oh, I was gonna
Um,
say the third KB. I was like, man.
yeah. Most of the best comedies these days come from films that work jokes into another genre. It's true. It's true. It's almost easier to get a comedy horror or a dramedy than it is to get a straight up comedy.
Yeah.
Completely get what you're saying regarding your love of horror, also other genres. Yeah, I think a lot of us are like that. I feel like I'm kind of coming back into horror because, I was a big 80s slasher dude, and then I felt horror got away from it. And now I'm getting to go back and appreciate it a little bit more.
It's hard because when you put yourself, like I always tell people when it comes to anything, for the most part, try to keep an open mind and accept different genres. You could always have a main favorite,
Hmm.
but when
Yeah,
you open yourself to allowing different genres, whether it's music, literature, or movies, you have so many options, and you don't limit yourself to just one thing.
yep,
And it's
so
it it,
true.
keep, it gives you a lot of fun, man. A lot of content to enjoy.
Yep. I just saw my man B Dubs hop in here. We were just talking about you.
Yeah.
What's up, Brian? He says that the new Naked Gun is surprisingly decent. I was talking to someone earlier about this. If you don't like spoof comedy or you didn't grow up with that, it might be a little harder for it to catch on to you. But I've shared the story before when I went to see that and we're walking out, the theater manager said that that's probably the most important movie of the summer. And I had to stop and think about it for a minute, but it's true. It's like we want comedy back as a genre.
Yeah.
So something like that is good to show that comedy can be successful. It's not going to be Beverly Hills Cop #1 at the box office kind of thing, but it's something. It's better than nothing. But yeah, these awkward comedies is kind of like where it is right now, making fun of uh, generations, making fun of awkwardness of all things. So um,
Yeah, we
yeah,
definitely need more of that, like free-spirited comedy because, man, I mean, we live in a day where, I mean, as technology advances and everything else going on in the world, we need that escape,
yeah,
sometimes. And I think that with horror is amazing, with dramas and all that, it's amazing. But I don't know, after a while, it could get very draining, and you're just tired.
yeah,
Sometimes you want to throw something
and
on like Step
repetitive.
Brothers. Yeah, and
Yeah,
repetitive. Yeah,
yeah. It's almost to the point that you look forward to the tropes because you expect it. You expect it to be there.
yeah,
And when it doesn't happen, you're like more surprised than anything. You're like, oh wow, they didn't go for the obvious.
yeah,
So
exactly.
we got Eli in the house saying,
What's
what's
up,
up?
Eli?
Good to see you, as always. Yeah, man, keep the chat going. This is really good. Everyone's talking about the various topics that we're talking about. If anyone popped in and I didn't see you, what's up, Sammy? Good to see you, girl. Um, Princey has a question. What movie is your feel-good serotonin boost? This is one of his favorite questions.
Oh man. Serotonin. So it's gonna be random,
Yeah.
but I think a feel good movie or like a motivational movie for me. It's Bradley Cooper Limitless. And
I like that movie.
you have you
I
seen
really
it?
do. For
Okay,
one, I feel like I would definitely take that pill.
absolutely. Listen,
I would
I
take that pill in a moment.
so
I'm
man,
a De
I'm
Niro fan, so yeah,
so
I seen
so
it.
that so that movie. I work, which I still work for the company. I work for like a vitamin and like a big vitamin and supplement company, online company. And I remember I had just started the company back in 2017, and our
Mhm.
boss was like, our main boss was like, hey, he was new to the company. He was like, hey, I want you guys to do a presentation, each of you, about a product that you really want to sell and stands out to you. During that time, I just finished rewatching Limitless, and I remember
Yeah,
sitting there and just getting this blood pumping excitement, and I was like, "Dude, this guy went from nothing to just doing all this just by taking this supplement, this pill." So then
yeah.
I started thinking there has to be something out there because the science, it wasn't too far-fetched, especially at the
Mhm.
time back in 2017. So I started looking into it, and there's actually supplements called nootropics, and nootropics have all these different properties that are supposed to help memory retention, focus, energy. Because you have things like caffeine that give you energy, but they give you kind of
Right.
like this jitteriness. It's hard to focus sometimes. So you have these supplements. So I did a deep dive, man. Like I'm talking about like went through the rabbit hole, blue pill, red pill type situation. and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
found this company at the time starting up called OptiMind, and it was literally almost like exactly like the movie. So I ended up
Get
reaching out to
out.
them and I said, "Could you send me some samples? Let me try this." Dude, I'm not kidding. Take the pill and immediately, obviously not as exaggerated like the movie, but I started like zoning. I started my eyes started zooming in and I started getting hyper focused. And I'm like, "Oh my god, I got to do a presentation at this at work." So I start talking about the movie and then I start talking about the supplement, and long story long, this movie is like one of those I could watch it all the time, have it playing in the background, um,
Yeah,
and it just I don't know, it's just fun. It's just fun and it
it is.
gets you motivated.
Brian, Sam, definitely check it out. They're saying they haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna win any awards and,
Yeah.
anything like that, but it's a simple premise, but the way it's executed is really well done to me, and it gets you wondering about something like this.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh my gosh, Eli, I managed a workout supplement store for 6 years. I love working out." Oh, wow.
There we
Look
go.
at that. Look at that.
Man,
Um,
and they used to have a show too. They made a show, I think it was only 1 or 2 seasons for
yeah, it was
Limitless.
short-lived. It was
Yeah,
short-lived.
but that
Yeah.
was good too.
Raise your hand if you worked for a vitamins or supplement company.
Dude, that's awesome. Look at that.
See, you find your tribe, man. You find your tribe.
I
Talking
love
about
Brian,
that,
man. Brian's
yeah, he's
awesome.
a good dude. He's a good dude. Talking about your tribe, one of them had a question for you, so I'm just gonna pop it up here.
Which one of these troublemakers?
You know it's one of them, right?
What's going on, GC? Glad to see you finally made it on the conversation with KB. So it's your boy Q, the movie collector, and I got a few questions for you, GC. So, what would you say is your preferred category or genre that you like to watch most? And you know, I'm trying to think of another one. And what inspired you to become a content creator? Peace.
I like that.
God, love you, buddy.
That's the dude. That's
That's
the
so
dude right
awesome,
there,
man.
man.
Um,
That's the
man,
dude.
so to answer the first question, as far as for kind of genre category, I have to go with like time travel history type category, like sci-fi. Mainly, I love
Mhm.
history and I love like time travel based stuff, or like space exploration. So I guess sci-fi and history. But the reason why I love those categories is always because of science behind it. Like I love that thought of like if we could go back in time and change something, what would be the repercussions? So I
Yeah.
always lean to that space exploration, not knowing and the thought of possibly never knowing what's out there. Always
Mhm.
I've always had me at least once or twice a week just sitting there pondering stuff like that. So those are the ones that I go for. And obviously history because we learn from what was done in the past to move forward,
Yeah.
and it's just important to preserve that and, share stories and pass on that knowledge with with society as we get older. I mean, that's how we keep civilization alive, by passing on everything that we've learned throughout our lives. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was the first question, and I think the second one was which movie? No, what made me become a content creator?
Yeah. Content creator.
Honestly, it was just I wanted to talk about movies. Um, and I've said this before, and not to sound like as a downer or anything, but I a long time ago I watched a movie. Can't remember the name of it, but somebody gave this. They gave kind of this speech, and they said, oh, you know what? Actually, I think it was "I Love You, Man," where
Yeah.
he talks about how as you get older, it's harder to make friends because when you're in
True.
like in preschool, usually some of those friends stay with you, and then the rest you make in high school. And then with high
Mhm.
school, some of those friends stay with you, but then you kind of go on to college. And it's not until college where you really make those like lifetime friends.
Lifelong friends. Yeah.
Exactly. So then you go from college to work and then you make work friends and stuff like that, but it's not always like friend. And then when you hit
Right.
your 30s, you start realizing that when you meet new people, it's 30 years, 25 years is a long time to kind of catch somebody up on your life. Not to
Mhm.
mention for them to see the growth from when you were young to you were older. So for me, like again, now being 38, I just found a world where it's, especially as a guy, it's not easy going out making friends and talking to people randomly because a lot of people are guarded. It's not like I was in the 90s and
Yeah.
early 2000s. So
Right.
I wanted to just jump on and talk to people. And then at the time, Tony Todd, right before he passed, my buddy Lee, from Cinema Whiplash, I've known him since I was 16 years old. So
Yeah.
we lived in a similar neighborhood, and he was supposed to go and meet Tony Todd for this screening for Candyman at a local theater, and he couldn't make it, so he hit me up to see if I wanted the tickets. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it either, but we got to talking, and I was like, "Dude, do you just want to make a YouTube channel and talk about movies?" And I thought it'd be perfect to have somebody to talk about them with and stuff. Fast
Yeah.
forwarding a few months, I had to move and all that, so we decided to kind of, I would stay on the channel, and he wanted, once he had some more free time, to do his channel. But I wanted to jump on, be a part of a community, talk about the stuff that I loved, and noticed a lot of people being afraid to share their truthful opinion. I feel like if I go out, and not saying it's true, but let's say I was to go right now and say weapon sucks, I get tomatoed, I get,
Right.
and just people yell at me and like, oh, you suck, and this and that. I know
Well,
we see
that's
that.
just because you can't have an opinion today. You have to be monolithically in the,
Yeah.
like, majority. So if you have an opinion that's different than everyone else, it's kind of like, well, why don't you see what I see? But it's not approached that way. It's approached like, well, you're dumb. Why why does weapons suck? They don't even ask you that question. They just leave it at
Yeah.
you're dumb because you think weapons suck. So
Exactly, yeah, and it's like you see, and that's what I was, talking about the whole Stephen King earlier, because there's directors out there that are just not gonna be on the same wavelength as him and catch certain things that he meant to put in these books, and that's how
yeah.
it is with life. I mean, we all have our different tastes in films, we all have our different understandings for, like, a movie, for example, like Weapons or like Barbarian. There's a lot of,
Mm.
social undertones in these films that talk
Oh
about real
yeah.
life that a lot of people don't catch.
Yeah.
So for me, it was important to just have a channel where it's genuine. Not to be afraid to share your opinion, to make friends, avoid the drama. Because I noticed when I first jumped on, someone in the community told me, they're like, "Damn, dude, you kind of picked the wrong time. Everybody's kind of divided right now, and people are being very negative."
That's the
And
right time.
dude, and that's when for me, I had this idea where I was like, I talked to a few creators like, Chris, Bearded Film Guy, Steven After Hours, Jordan, the Movie Den,
Mhm.
and I had talked to all these guys separately. Brian, Last Movie Standing, he was the first friend that I made on here, and I was like, I'm gonna start, a chat on Instagram where we could all just kind of have a conversation and hang out like we
Yeah.
used to do with friends. And I started doing that, and I just started noticing like some of these people, even more excited and feeding off each other, coming up with ideas and like, oh, I'm gonna do that. You inspired me for this. And I thought, I
Yeah.
was like, let's start doing live streams. Let's like you're doing, KB. I mean, these conversations that you have with all these creators, it's all about community and just sharing a passion
That's a
and a
dirty
hobby.
word sometimes. I hate to say it, but,
Yeah.
community to some people equals clicks.
Yeah.
And I was telling somebody the other night, apparently I'm in 3, 4 clicks and I didn't even know it.
It's
So,
crazy. Yeah.
it to me, it doesn't matter. I got my homies over here, I got my pack over here. It doesn't matter because when it all boils down to it, this is why this is important to me, this hashtag right here. It's why I say it in every video
Yeah.
because that's what it's all about. I don't care if you go to the cinema every week, my man Ryan, Disconnected, like, B-Dubs had in his video. He goes to the movies every weekend and sees 4 movies. Sometimes I go with him. He loves movies. I got friends who have every streaming service, no physical media, never goes to the theater because it's coming out. They might VOD something, or they might wait till it's on HBO Max and Netflix and this and that and that and that. They love movies. And then we got people like us with the plastic behind us. We
Yeah.
love movies. So the whole thing is, it's about the love of movies. It's not about who you live stream with, who who's cool with you, who does steel books, who does slips, who won't buy a movie without slip, who has only one copy and is curating their collection to be smaller, or who has 14 copies of the same movie. It doesn't matter. It's about the movies. And if you tell me, "Hey, I just buy it because I like looking at it and it's a piece of art," it's still about the movie because now it's about the movie art. So it all this negativity, it's dumb to me. I can't even say,
Yeah,
"We shouldn't do it." No, it's just dumb.
yeah,
It's
and it
dumb because the whole thing is you come down, you wanna watch a movie, who cares who likes what and who doesn't like what? Doesn't matter.
and then and there's this and that's the thing, man. Like a lot of people, I know why they do it. They it's clickbait, like that click rage type situation. They want to stir stuff up to kind of get the
Mhm.
attention. But I mean, to that I say, you know what, just ignore it, man. Like if you get sucked into something, ignore it, because in the end of the day, just be yourself, hang out, talk about the stuff you love. For me,
Yeah,
it even transcends movies. And onto like the movie Into the Wild. There's a saying at the end where Chris McCandless says that he escaped into the wild because he wanted to experience life, and his deathbed is when he realized that life is about sharing experiences with others. And to
yeah,
me, it's just so much more than movies. It's about sharing these experiences with people with like-minded. Like if
yeah.
we talk about, like, let's say we talk about the movie Sunshine, right? A lot of people
Great
hated
movie,
it, some people
great
loved it,
movie.
but this has a message behind it. And if we both somehow gasp it, and like we talk about that message, and it both made us feel the same way, sharing that
Mhm.
experience, that commonality. I mean, dude, I mean, that's priceless. Like
But
it's
I
important.
think the problem is that people only feel attracted to the commonality these days.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, you like MCU movies too? You're cool."
Yeah.
What if I don't? What if I think superhero movies are dumb?
Yeah.
We could have a conversation about it, hence the name. But the whole thing is, it's not just to look for the commonalities, but it's also to find the differences in each other because those differences are what help us grow.
Yeah.
And it also helps us discover that there are other thoughts, other ways of living. We're here in the States. The way we live in the States is totally different than the rest of the world. No country has a right to say we're the best because you don't know what you're missing out on. You don't know
Yeah.
what you're missing out on by not living in Holland, or you don't know what you're missing out on when you go to Miami versus going
Yeah.
to Aruba. You don't know what you're missing out on. So you can't say something is the best or this is the only way to be or the only kind of movies to like if you're not experiencing others and you're not taking not the advice but just hearing a voice of someone who loves it. Somebody could tell me I like the prequels to Star Wars. What's up, Sam? And I could be like, ooh, all I know is the holy trilogy, which
Yeah.
is 4, 5, and 6. And it's a difference of time, difference of opinion, but you know what? Their opinion is as valid as mine.
Yeah.
A and it's not so much the commonalities. Commonalities are easy. That's what builds friendships and communities, but what's harder and probably more valued is when we see things differently, because then all of a sudden I could start to see your point, and hopefully you could start to see my point. I'm not gonna change my mind, 4, 5, 6 rules, but at the same time, I could see why you like the prequels versus me liking the Holy Trilogy. It's
Man,
got a better name too.
it's so rewarding. I think in life, when you interact with people that don't have the same interests in you, it's actually more rewarding at times than when they do, because that's how you learn something new, right? I
Yeah,
mean, like if I'm into AC/DC, and you're not, let's say you like you like more like Beethoven type stuff, classical. And I expose you to, you're like, huh, AC/DC, this is interesting. I would have never known because I'm into like the classical stuff, or vice versa. And
yeah.
I always find that having friends where with different interests, you can have a friend that has the same interests. You can have a friend that's completely polar opposite, but it's always going to take you out of your comfort zone. And it's always going to expose you to things that you would never naturally be exposed to. It'll help you
Mhm.
grow. I mean, it'll help you learn, grow, and it's fun,
Yeah.
man.
I saw them pop in earlier. We got Alexander J in the house. saying,
Alexander.
"Shut the
So
front door. I love sunshine so much." Danny Boyle, yes.
you got to check out
See?
Alexander J's Instagram, the cinematography, the beautiful images that Alexander puts up.
Yeah,
That's one of my regulars right there, always showing up every week.
yeah. Oh man, we could continue this chat. The chat room is continuing, so I love this. Steve adds, I learned so much when I watch videos from big horror fans because I don't watch a lot of horror. I found some movies I really enjoy because of that. My youngest daughter is the same way. She is not a horror fan. She's been a fraidy cat all her life. But when she hears me talking about a movie, then she's like, well, that sounds like it's okay. But if she just had in her mind, shut off anything that is remotely horror, I'm not down, she's gonna miss out on a lot of movies, including her
Yeah.
favorite movie of this year so far. So,
I always say that if you watch horror movies, you have these untapped survival instincts because you've already learned what to avoid and what to do in all these crazy situations.
mhm,
So it's always funny. It's like, oh, if I ever find myself in a Terrifier or like a Jason Voorhees situation, it's like, all right, I know what to do. Run
yeah.
the other way.
We got the huckster in the house. Yeah,
Oh,
we're enjoying this
hey,
conversation too, honestly. Uh,
you made a
yeah.
mistake having me on here, man. I mean, it'll be a long one.
Hey, you're not scaring me, dude. You are not scaring me at all. Like I said, I always come with questions, but I care less if I get to the questions or not,
Yeah.
because it's more about what we're doing right now. This is a
Yeah.
vibe. The room is enjoying it. They're adding their own things. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Today, more than ever, we lock ourselves in echo chambers where we can all agree. And I think, just to interrupt that comment, it's safety. It's
Yeah.
safety. Nobody wants to feel exposed anymore. The world has hurt us enough that we can't even appreciate difference in art. And God, that's where we're supposed to embrace differences. You
Yeah.
like Picasso, I like Basquiat, or I like Kendrick Lamar, you love Crew. It should that's where we should embrace it. But no, everybody's afraid.
You know what
Everybody's
most people
afraid.
don't realize is that, for example, you have a rapper like Eminem.
Mhm.
You know who he was inspired by? People like Elton John, all these other
Yeah,
musicians, they're in a
yeah.
completely different genre. And same thing with filmmaking. And people don't realize that a lot of these artists, a lot of these writers, musicians, painters, the filmmakers, they get inspired sometimes from the opposite genre. And sometimes opposites attract. And
Yeah.
that's always you have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, or to bring it a little closer home on the music front, you
Yeah.
listen to certain bands and you could tell who's classically trained, like Hatfield and all of them guys from Metallica. They were trained with classical music, and you
Yeah.
hear that in the movements of their songs. You listen to one, and it has movements like a classical. You mentioned Beethoven before. It sounds like a classical record because it has movements and changes just like a classical music song would. So,
I mean,
the
look at
more you
Queen.
know, the
Yeah. I
more
mean,
you
look
know. Queen, oh my gosh, yeah.
with the opera type
Literally a night at the
music.
opera.
Yeah.
We got Acres in the house. What is your favorite cinema to go to? I guess your local one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say that, so before I moved, there was a Regal Cinema, and man, what an experience. They had, like, this VIP room where you could just
Mhm.
walk in and get unlimited slushies and popcorn.
I like that.
And dude, it was so cool. So I would say, that, but since I don't have that, obviously supporting small theaters because it's nothing like that, like, traditional experience that you grew up with. I mean, some of the seats may
Mhm.
not be as comfortable, the floors are a little sticky, but it feels right. It
Yeah.
takes you back to that nostalgia.
Yeah, that's the one I always mention on here is the Screenland Armor, which is North Kansas City from where I am, and no assigned seating, no Dolby Atmos or IMAX. They
Yeah.
are doing a thing for a fundraiser to bring back film cameras to the theater, so it'll be the only place you could see a film projection in Kansas City. That's a big deal, but it's old school. I mean, all that's missing is the ushers, but everybody kind of self ushers themselves. No phones, no talking. You get one warning and then you're out. And the nice thing is, you need food, you need libations, they got all that right outside. And independent movies, that's where I saw Highest to Lowest because it wasn't shown anywhere else in Kansas City. None of the chains had it. And yeah, I'll quicker support that and go see a movie there because everybody there is a movie lover compared to like a AMC and you got like Screaming Kids and Chicken Jockey and all that stuff. So,
Yeah, it's you know when somebody loves cinema when they're willing to be a little uncomfortable with the older theaters
mhm,
compared to the ones that just go to AMC and they have that monthly $24 membership, so they don't care about like they're not really spending like money like that for the ticket. You know, you get
yeah,
like
yeah.
the unlimited. So they just kind of go in sometimes. I've seen people just go to take naps. They'll go like matinee because they have the pass and they'll just go
Some of
and
them got leather couches
yeah, man. So
you
it's
could do that in.
the warming seats.
Yeah. What's up, Mark? We got a question from Mark here saying that he loved your Criterion Roundtable, and do you have plans for more?
Oh man, absolutely. That was so much fun. That was
That was.
that was a bit of an experiment for me because I've always enjoyed those like I don't remember if it's variety the what that they do that with the YouTube channels, but they
Yeah,
have like
Actors
actors roundtable,
Roundtable.
and
Love that.
I love that, and I thought
I
I
wait
haven't
for
seen
award season for that.
dude, and I haven't seen anybody, at least that like for me, for my algorithm here, hasn't shown me anybody that does stuff like that. And I thought it would be awesome to get all these different creators, put them together, and just have like these conversations where it's like a ton of us, and it's hard to manage, but doing
Mhm.
it the right way, you could really get to know people based on the movies that they're picking and what it means to them and hearing those intimate stories of what they were exposed to, like when were they exposed to it and what it meant to them. So,
Yeah.
long story short, I do plan on continuing it. I might do one in November. I'm also thinking of maybe other boutique labels,
Yeah.
doing something like that. Even pretty close by doing a roundtable with actual directors and actors
Mm.
and stuff like that, and kind of getting their opinion of how the industry is now, and especially like smaller directors with smaller budgets, because I think it's important to support these type of films. I mean, some of them are even better than big budget movies. So, I really want to hear what they have to say.
I have one more question for you before we go to the five takes. I have a whole
Yeah.
bunch of other questions. I feel like doing almost like a separate episode just for the audio podcast. So, but if you think about that and let me know at the end if you're up for that. But
Yeah,
um,
absolutely, man.
kind of an obscure question to show you I did my research. So you did a video a while back called Four Worst Things That Could Happen to a Physical Media Collector. And you mentioned a specific item that you almost lost. What was that item? And what's the story behind it?
Oh man, an item that I almost lost. Ah,
If you remember, that was a
I
minute
don't I
ago.
don't remember, man.
Everybody
Oh,
go back and watch that video. It was actually a pretty good one.
what was the item? I
I don't
don't
know.
oh, an item that I almost lost. Man,
Yeah.
I I don't remember. That was such a while ago too. For
uh,
mistakes, because I know one of the things that I know I talked about pre-ordering, being careful with that. I
mhm,
know I talked about like going to thrift stores, like trying to find all this stuff, used usually, obviously supporting small businesses.
yeah,
I know I talked about instead of like buying like the furnitures, this and that, you could make stuff yourself.
the shelves, yeah,
Yeah, and I know I talked about like maybe like trying to keep your discs clean, stuff like that.
yeah.
But
Go back and rewatch and let me know. I got another one for you then.
yeah,
We'll cut that one. Since B-Dub said that he had a holy grail and but he didn't tell us what it was and the way that worked out. What is your holy grail when it comes to physical media collecting? What's missing from your collection that when you get it, the light will shine on you like when you open that Vinegar Syndrome box?
honestly, I think the one that I really wanted was the Dawn of the Dead box set, which I have right here.
Mhm.
I think that was one of them, but I don't have one just yet. That like I'm like absolutely, it would kind of feel like make me feel fully complete or anything.
Mhm.
And I think the reason why, it's because as long as I don't have like these holy grail items, the chase never ends.
I like
So
that.
it keeps
I
that
like that.
excitement going, it's always like it's like life. You'll never get to that certain level, so it always inspires you to keep be trying to be better every day, and but there's no such thing as perfection. It's just something
No.
that gives us opportunity to chase something and motivate us.
Yeah. I, I have a couple, but the one that first came to mind when I asked you that question, and the only person I know that has it, who has it on display, is my man G, Garrett from Born to Be Rad, is the sleepaway camp that has the Red Cross logo on the
Oh,
front
yeah.
that they had to take off shelves. And I think it's just for the rarity of it. But it's not like the final end my collecting kind of thing. There's always going to be something to collect and
Yeah.
keep in the library for a rewatch, but I would like to have my hands on that. I just don't want to pay for
Dude, I'll tell you, listen, I'll tell you this, I have more movies that are stuck on, like, DVD or not even on
Yeah,
physical media that I
yeah.
absolutely want more than I have, like, that one item, just because
Mhm.
there's so many stories out there that I wanna have in my collection, I wanna be able to revisit, and it sometimes scares me when I see that there's no movement for them to come out because it's like, yeah, you could
Yeah,
download it or do all these other things, but I mean, it's not the same. Like, I wanna support filmmaking, I wanna support these storytellers, and I just wanna hold it in my hand and something tangible.
yeah. I hear you. I definitely hear you. I'm gonna do something here. Just ignore that for a minute.
No worries. Something that I lost. Man, now you got me thinking.
You're
My
gonna have to go
mind?
back
Like,
and watch that. You're gonna have to go
oh,
back and watch that video.
oh, man.
I'm gonna link the Instagram here. So if you guys want to, you can follow GC at Face the Movies over on Instagram, and from there you could get the link to the YouTube. Plus, it's in the description down there. I believe this is a clickable link, supposedly. So see if you could click on it, and if Instagram opens up in a new tab, let me know. But while you're doing that, are you ready for the five takes, sir? I
Let's
know you've
do it,
been
man.
waiting. I know you've
Oh,
been
I'm
waiting.
ready.
The five takes, the five questions we ask every guest on the conversation at the end. So we start the way we always do with number one. Name the film that made you fall in love with the movies.
So this one is I have to say 2 movies because I saw them around the same time.
Mhm,
And it was mainly because of my grandfather. So my grandfather, when I was a little kid, he took me to see the first X-Men movie and The Nutty Professor. Like, I think it was either within the same week. I mean, again, I was very young, but I remember we came home. It was my first movie theater experience, and it was just
mhm.
me and my grandpa that raised me. And he was like, "Hey, we're going to the movies." And my grandfather, and I'll tell you this, he was my step grandfather. He wasn't a big fan of me in the beginning because I was a little
Mm.
kid with a lot of questions, so I'm constantly like asking a billion. I was always like, why does this work like this? This, and that. So for a kid, I was pretty annoying. And he was always like, he would always scoff or something. And I remember that was the first time we really bonded where he was like, oh, I don't know if he wanted to see it or take me, whatever it was, but I remember he took me and it was such an amazing time. I remember this vividly, like sitting there as a little kid, and it was just an immersive experience. And that was the first time that I was just like, wow, like all these worlds like exist. My brain was blown. And I remember we
Yeah,
came home and my grandfather was so excited about like how much a good time we had that he even told my grandma, he's like, oh, I want to take him back to watch another movie. And I think the second movie is probably The Nutty Professor. But
that's
man,
cool.
like those 2 movies are the ones that just sparked that love for cinema, for
Mhm.
movie theaters, and till this day, it's like whenever I watch a movie, it's when I feel like my grandfather's right there with me in the room. Any movie that I watch, I know he's there because it was just something that we shared.
That's beautiful. When was the last time you watched either of those movies?
Man, I think that was probably during my teens, like on DVD,
Bro,
like
you
that.
should watch it.
Yeah, I
You
know
should
I have
watch
the
it
Nutty
just for
Professor.
nostalgia.
Yeah, I have to, man, because it's the X-File I mean, the X-Men's been a long time, and
Mhm.
then Nutty Professor actually, no, the Nutty Professor I saw, I love a few clips of it because I was testing out the VHS that I found. So that one I gotta give it the full watch.
Yeah, that's cool. Number 2, name 5 of your favorite films, and something tells me you brought it with you.
Yeah, man. Oh, so as far as for 5 favorite films, I have a few, but I'll just try to keep it at 5. Unless there's time, then I'll throw in a few quick ones.
Just
But
go for it.
one movie that I absolutely love, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
I
And
never got through that movie. I gotta
oh,
try it again.
man, and the reason why I love this movie is because his brain, like my brain thinks the same way as his. Like, there's
Mm,
been times that I've been in the middle of a conversation or somewhere, and I start kinda like my imagination goes wild, and I start seeing kinda like, and have you seen the movie 500 Days of Summer? Where he's like he walks into the party, and in one side of the screen, it shows what could like, what is actually happening, and then the other side, it
mhm,
shows what in his mind's happening. Well, I've
mhm,
had like that between that and Walter Mitty, like those type of daydreams a lot.
yeah,
So this is one movie that I always gravitated to. I absolutely love the meaning behind it, especially at the very, and I won't spoil it because you haven't finished it, but
mhm,
there's a message at the end of this movie, and me as a photographer, I appreciate it, I love it, and Sean Penn says that to him. So when you see that, KB, we gotta talk about what he tells him because
okay,
it's amazing. So
okay.
that's one of the movies that I love.
I,
Eh
I will if you have HBO Max, I don't even know if it's still on the channel, but there was this short-lived comedy on HBO called Dream On, and it was a guy who was raised on TV. So anytime he's having a conversation with someone, his mind reflects to a TV clip from when he was younger, and it's real TV clips from the past that they kinda interject into it.
That's
There was also
cool.
another, show called Herman's Head, and it was all the different kinda like a precursor to Inside Out. It had all his different emotions who lived in his head, and it just what you were saying reminds me of, like, a combination of those 2, for sure.
Oh, man, yeah, that's definitely my brain. Like, I'm telling you, sometimes I'll sit here and have these, or I'll be, like, in the shower driving randomly, and I'll get these ideas for to make these type of videos, this and that, and then it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, my imagination's a little bit bigger than the equipment that I have or the budget that I have for something.
Hey, write it down and make it happen.
Yeah, man. But
Oh,
that
there
that
you
was
go. John Landis created the show Dream On, so there's
oh,
your
that's cool.
reference. Yeah.
I'm gonna
A
have to
couple
check
other
that out.
people popped up in the chat. I saw my man James, 21st. Late to the party, we'll catch it on the replay. Smash that like button, everyone. Thank you. Good to see you as
Nice.
always, brother. Please continue.
So, a second movie that I have that I
Mhm,
preach about, I love this film, it's called Man from Earth. And now looking, and I just wanted to check my notes just to make sure this movie came out in 2007. It's hard to find the Blu-ray now, it's pretty pricey, but it is on
mhm,
DVD. I think if you're lucky, it might be somewhere on streaming, but this movie is absolutely amazing. I mean, to take a set, right, which is just one room, one cabin, have a few characters, I'd say between 7 characters. They're all different professors for this university that study different subjects. And the entire movie is these people in a room having a conversation that is so good that you forget you're watching a movie and you actually think you're having this conversation with these people. And then afterwards, you're wondering, what if it's real? What if all this is true?
mm.
And it's so good, such a low budget. They made a sequel for it as well, which was good, but that movie, The Man from Earth, 2007, if you guys haven't seen it, highly, I mean, I could not
You're giving me
recommend that
cuts. I
movie.
better write this down. Hold up,
Now,
hold up, hold up.
it's so good, man. I mean, it's again, the conversation that takes place is just like if I was in that situation, somebody's like, "Hey, what if I was to tell you this, this, and that about history and about this and that?"
And you
Man,
said the name of it is Man from Earth?
yeah, Man from Earth from 2007.
Check it out. I love recommendations because you end up watching the same thing over and over. So
Yeah.
when someone gives me a recommendation, and I have a series called So I Watch That Thing, so we'll definitely talk about Walter Mitty.
Oh,
I'll just
absolutely,
let you
man.
down.
Listen, the ones
GC.
that Imma bring up today, I wanna,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen seen 'em, if anybody else hasn't seen them, like, watch them. I want to have a conversation about them, or if even anybody wants me to make a video or a live stream where people could just jump on and have that live conversation like we're doing now. I mean, I
Mhm.
love these movies, man. Like I said, I watch movies to feel, and
Yeah,
more than
I
anything
see that.
else. Yeah, man.
I see that.
Now, another one which I forgot to grab from the shelf, because I had some trouble. I still haven't organized them. But it's called Midnight in Paris, and with Owen
Um,
Wilson.
Owen Wilson, yes,
Yeah, and then
I've seen
that
that.
that movie, I love that movie. The message behind it, where I mean, obviously, again, has to do with time travel, has to do with history, but the message behind it, where we look back in life all the time and we're like, man, that arrow is the best, right? And it's like we enamor those thoughts. We're like, oh, we romanticize them, and then he goes to these eras, and then the people there are like, "Man, the era back then was the best." And you come to find out in life is that what's important is the present. What's important is just looking for things that make you happy and not so much thinking about the past, because even though we think it was cool back then you get there and then the people there are like, "No, it's not great here. I hate it. I want to go back even
Right.
further." We're never happy.
It
We're always chasing something.
yeah, it's about appreciating the moment.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a third one, and I do have, which is actually a trilogy, but the main one, which is Before the Sunrise, and I have the criterion for it.
Love
This
it.
this trilogy, I mean, talk about a film that is strictly just simple conversation. There's no
Mhm.
explosions, there's no like it's just simple conversation, and the fact that
Yeah,
it's so relatable, what they talk about, these two random souls just meet randomly, and then as the movies progress, throughout the trilogy, the chance encounters, the what ifs, um it makes you think again about life, and it makes you think about the decisions, like what if, or like the random people that you come across and you meet, whether we meet on here on YouTube by chance,
mhm.
through the through one of the chats, and next thing you know, we're hanging out on a live like this. I mean, almost everybody that I've met on YouTube, it was just besides Brian from Last Movie Standing, I reached out to him, but everybody else we just kind of met randomly and
Yeah,
somehow gravitated towards each other. So this is a movie that I will always preach, always say, check that
yeah.
one out.
The biggest thing for me with, those movies, more than Boyhood being 1 movie compared to
Oh
3,
my
is
god.
that
Yeah.
same characters, same actors, of course, and it's just different stages of their life and different stages of their relationship over the 3 movies, and that's absolutely beautiful, and like you said, heavy dialogue driven, nothing, life transformation taking place, but when you deep dive, you see the heavier, deeper stuff that's there. Um, Alexander said that sensing a theme, surrealism in your taste. I have a feeling you love films that make the ordinary extraordinary. That's what feeling is all about, for sure,
Absolutely. I
for
mean,
sure.
that's what it
Yes,
is, right? Like we live in a world where there's no Superman, there's no, interstellar space exploration, all this stuff. So that's why we gravitate to these films sometimes, because it's like it makes the ordinary extraordinary, and it just inspires.
yeah. Dell says he's afraid to watch the Before trilogy because he hates almost everything else Linklater. Same, same. I'm not a big Boyhood fan. Um, what was the first one? Slacker. Not a big fan of that. I think there's only like one other film of his that I found halfway decent, but this kind of just like stands out from the rest of them.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just you have this dynamic growing relationship over the 3 movies. Maybe it's just I'm the type of person I could meet them and then stay up all night, like, hanging out, talking with them, and then next morning, sun's rising, they're going one direction, I'm going the other, and that's pretty much the first movie, albeit under romantic pretense.
Yeah, and it keeps it grounded, right? It's not like The Notebook, where some of these movies over romanticize things. Like this movie's very grounded, where you see what happens after being married for so long, or meeting
Mhm.
somebody, or losing out on that opportunity, and it takes away from the mysticism, and it just keeps it very like what it's really like. dating
Yeah,
and stuff. It's not
yeah,
always over the moon, but sometimes there's complications and,
yeah, and
life
it's
happens.
realistic.
Yeah.
It's realistic. What's next?
So, man, what's next? I have a few here, but I'm gonna stick to, let's see here. Because again, I have some honorable mentions if I'm allowed for those, but I do want to talk about Brit Marlin again because I have, and these she's so far she's like, I have all, I think mostly all her collection. I'm missing maybe one, and then a
Mhm,
show that she did on Netflix called The OA. But if out of all her movies that you're gonna check out, I'd say I Origin. I mean, this really makes you think about like reincarnation and all that stuff. And again, because this is like a very science driven movie,
yeah,
it really blows your mind. Um, with this, Another Earth, it really makes you think about the choices we make and how they impact others around us. And it makes you sit there and think, if I had the opportunity to change that, would I take it? And then there's a certain cost to that. So that's a good one. And then as far as for the East, it's been a long time since I've seen the East, but this one's almost like one of those type of movies that's like what happens when you go undercover to investigate someone and you kind of end up getting enamored by this lifestyle and these people. So it's
mhm.
kind of like one of those type of films.
Deep
And
cover is
then
like that too
yeah, and then the
in the
sound.
Criterion Collection.
This one
Sound of My Voice.
I haven't seen in a long time, very long time, but it's a
Yeah,
psychological thriller, and it's like kind of like a cult based. It makes you think of the influence in a cult, right? Like when you get sucked into it, and the type of people that sometimes get drawn to this type of thing, and what really goes on. But you can't go wrong with any of these films. So
mm,
that's a director that I love, and she's a writer actress. Highly recommend. And
yeah.
am I allowed to bring up 2 honorable mentions?
Yeah, but before you do,
Yeah.
I think you just blew Alexander's mind because OMG, Britt Marling is phenomenal as OA in the OA on Netflix. No one talks about that series. Incredible series about time travel and the afterlife. So, and that could
Yes.
be why you had Sunshine sitting there because that makes you ponder and ask questions too.
It does, man. I know a lot of people don't care for it, but it's such a beautifully shot film. It's very slow, it's very methodical. It really gets in your head, and especially the hard decisions that you have to make towards the end of the film. And, it makes you sit there and ask yourself, "Would you make those decisions?"
Mm,
And I mean, it's like Interstellar. I think Interstellar, that's another one where, Matthew McConaughey and this decision that he has to make to be
yeah.
able to protect the ones that you love. And these are the movies that really make you feel, make the eyes water, make your eyes sweat, give you the goosebumps. But I did want with these 2 quick honorable mentions because I did want to switch up the genre. And one of them that I adore, Hackers.
I haven't seen that in so long.
Oh man, this movie in 4K. I mean, I I was into IT since I was probably like 13, 12 years old, messing around with computers and stuff and trying to learn how to hack back in the 90s. So the
Mhm.
soundtrack to this, the nostalgia, the lifestyle. I mean, it's just I adore this movie. Yeah, there's some cheesy hacking scenes, but besides that, it's such a fun movie. And then the one that introduced me to horror, Nightmare on Elm Street.
I almost wore my shirt tonight.
Dude, this franchise, watching Freddy on TV, walking down the alleyway with the extended arms as a kid was like it got me to think like, man, what is this? And it just deep dived after that.
Yeah. I'm I'm a Fred head, so this upcoming 4K release is very near and dear to my heart, just like the release of the first one on 4K, because before that, I'd seen it that same movie theater I was telling you about, I've seen the 4K transfer of it there before they actually, released the physical media version of it, so I knew it existed since what is this? This is October, so we're talking 2003, 2002, because I went to a marathon of all the movies, including Freddy versus Jason, to end at midnight.
Oh,
So, and they after they showed the first one, they said, "You have just been among the first people to see the 4K transfer." Because I was sitting there with my friend Ryan from the Disconnected, and I was like, "This looks really good." He's like, "Yeah, I'm surprised." So yeah, we knew it was coming. It just took its sweet time getting here. Ellie is going through the Nightmare series for the first time. It is. It gets a little hokey, and
Yeah.
if you weren't around, just to let you know that Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger became such a cultural icon
Yeah.
that Freddy got so big that it was almost like he it became a caricature of the character, and long gone was the child molesting serial killer that we heard about in the first one. And it almost became like, well, this is why he's like that by the time you get to the later ones. We don't care. He's a slasher. It's a slasher series, so
Yeah.
but yeah, and I met, Heather, who plays Nancy, at that same place at a film festival last
That's
year.
so cool,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, so at my street sign over there. This is what I'm talking about. I gotta hang my street sign right there. You'll see my Elm Street sign in a few weeks. I gotta hang it up. Yes, and it's being re-released. AMC is gonna have it back in the theaters on October 1st. So a lot of re-releases. Toy Story, this weekend, Breakfast Club is gonna be back out there with the 4K transfer that Criterion did. Um, of course, we had Jaws, we had Sign of the Times. Something else is coming back out that I saw today. Anyway, we move on. Number 3, name a popular or classic movie that everybody loves, but you don't particularly like.
Oh man. So for
Everyone's
me,
favorite question, by the way.
like I was saying, I think Friday the 13th part 1 is not one
Mhm.
that I love. Like I enjoy it for what it is, but it's just
Yeah,
like I don't love it like that. And I know a lot of people out there like, "Oh my god, it's I know Steven from After Hours, we're good buds, man." And like, I know he loves the franchise and he loves, all of them, but for me it's like, like it's good. I love Friday the 13th, but
yeah. Do you own the Scream Factory set?
no, I don't. I have like a steelbook set.
Me either.
Yeah, I wanted it just to like to have the collection and everything, but to me it was like I don't consider myself like a collector. And I know for me, like my definition of collector is someone that collects things that are gonna have value, where they keep in their collection and then maybe one day they're able to sell or something, or they just to collect the value. But I consider myself more of a curator. So
Yeah.
what was important to me is to avoid the FOMO, where it's like, oh, this is gonna
Mhm.
sell out, that's gonna sell out. And I asked myself, out of all the horror franchises, which is the one that really means near and dear to my heart? And Nightmare on Elm Street is the
Nightmare.
one. So I was
Me
like, out of
too.
all of them, that's the box set that I want. I want to have them in 4K. I want to see the new features, and I just want
Yeah.
to have that whole collection instead of this monstrosity that they did. Even though I appreciate that it
Yeah.
exists, but still, it's like this is not what it deserves.
I'm not gonna take it down, but it's almost within arm's reach, which is the original DVD collection. I held on to that and I trashed that one. I gave that away. But
I used to
yeah,
have it, man.
I've seen all of Friday the 13th in theaters for the most part, except 1 and 2. I saw 2 when I was 13. I shouldn't have seen it at a summer camp. And then the next night they showed 1, and I still don't understand why they did 2 and then 1, but
Yeah,
neither here nor there. But from 3 on, I saw in theaters on dates and whatnot. So, no, I don't own the Shout thing. But if it comes around for 75, $80, I'll pick it up. So
yeah,
if anybody sees it on Amazon for that price, just holler at your boy. Let me know. That's the only way I'll pick it up. And then Halloween, I picked up the ones I like, but not all of them. I don't have, like, the Resurrection and
mm.
the Thorn ones, the Curse and all that. One, two,
H2O is another
three,
one. That's
one, two,
another one.
three, H2O, um, and then the last 3.
Mm. I
That's it.
like H2O. Like I know a lot of people hate it, but that one's fun to me.
I love it because you have to imagine that was kinda like a toss back when it came out to 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So and it was 20 years later, so it made sense. Number 4, flip that. Name a critically hated movie that you love. Like
Oh,
the one you just mentioned before is one. Name another one.
Sunshine was one.
Yep.
I think Ghost Ship is another one that not many people care for.
Why do people keep bringing up Ghost Ship? I
It's
don't see the appeal.
dude, I think I love the music and I love like when they had
Yeah.
Mudvayne, but I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I love again like big ghost ship type stuff, like history based stuff. But
Mhm.
there's two here that I know not many people are probably gonna know, which is Stay Alive, stuck on DVD. Um,
Yeah.
I love this movie. I know a lot of people don't care for it. And then Banshee Chapter, which is was on Netflix when it first came out.
Huh.
And this one here, it's one of the few movies that I've ever seen, and I'm talking about, like, this might be number 1 that actually creeps me out, that makes me
Really?
uncomfortable, and I did a whole, YouTube video on it, with Lee back in the day, it's on my channel, and I dive deep into this one because this actually has a ton of stuff that's based on a true story, and
Mhm.
this will keep you up, man, like, this will freak you out,
That's what
but
I'm gonna do. I'm already thinking about, like, what I'm gonna do, like, horror movie fall season next year. Like, right now, for this year, I'm doing horror movie franchises. That's why I watch Hellraiser. But next year, I just want people to recommend things that creeped you out. I don't care if I've seen it before or not. Just movies that crept you out. Like, we had Caprice in the chat, and she sent me the Poughkeepsie tapes a few years ago.
oh, I heard about that
It
one, I
might have
haven't
been
seen it.
last year or the year before, but no, it was the year before. The Poughkeepsie tapes. That creeped me out. That creeped me out big time.
That one I've
So
heard
I
of, man, it's
I
on the
like those
list.
kind of movies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Stay Alive. That's another good one.
It's so
Someone
much
just
fun.
mentioned Stay Alive. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's again, it does have, like, a based on a true story type element to it, which is nice. I love when they take horror and they incorporate certain things like that into it. It makes it so much more fun because 'cause you're kinda learning something, but also
Mhm.
they're trying to creep you out at the same time, so I don't know, it's always
Yeah.
fun to learn.
Quick question, what do you feel about, found footage movies?
I it depends what it is, right? I'll say this, I love the Blair Witch because growing up with it for what it is, but obviously when
Same.
you look at it now, it's not I mean, it's not a masterpiece. What was a masterpiece was the marketing behind it, and the reveal at the end, but it really depends what type of found footage movie. But for
Yeah.
the most part, I don't mind it just because it's pretty creative. And, I know one that's found footage documentary, which is one of my tops, is As
Mhm.
Above, So Below. That movie,
Yes.
the found footage version of it, it's well done because it explains how when someone dies, the camera keeps recording. It's not like other movies where all of a sudden they have it's like found footage, but then you're like wondering like how is that person being recorded? And it goes from found footage to like an actual movie being recorded. But with As Above, So Below, it's like someone dies and you see somebody pick up the camera and it just continues that way. So it's very organic and
Yeah.
again has history behind it. Dante, the Divine Comedy, Dante's Inferno,
Yeah. Inferno.
Alchemy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's the part that makes it well written because it's based on, like, mythology and everything like that. So, it's almost like it has a strong foundation. Dell's in the chat cracking jokes because 'cause we're talking about Stay Alive. He says, "Staying Alive made me obsessed with the horror of John Travolta in a leotard." Still holding the record for 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
oh
Shout out
man.
Huck if you're still in the chat. That's one of his favorites. One of the best found footage movies, GCS, so As Above, So Below is goated. Yeah,
I
it's pretty good.
I did
I'm
a
not a found
podcast.
footage fan, but I like that one.
Well, dude, well, see, that's the thing too. Like even the director made it very clear. They were like, this is a found documentary type movie more than footage.
Yeah,
And I think that's why
yeah.
you enjoyed it because they made sure to focus on not being too kind of like shaky and too crappy quality. They were very
Mhm.
creative the way they filmed it. But I did a podcast episode and I had Keith on from High Volume Video as my guest, and we dived into because I know he was somebody else that loved it. But man, if you guys haven't seen it, watch it. Sometimes you have to watch
I'm
it
gonna
2 or
gra
3 times.
yeah, I'm gonna grab something else to show you quickly.
Yeah.
Because, now that I'm thinking about it, I say I don't like found footage, I should really say I'm particular about the found footage that I like. So I'm not gonna pull Blair Witch because you mentioned that, but, ooh, here it is.
Oh man, I'm excited to see.
Hopefully you could see it on the camera. So this is a movie someone else recommended, my man, uh, Tyrone the Evil One, Evil Live. This is Ganjam
Oh,
Haunted Asylum.
Jordan recommended that. I
This
saw
is
one
the
of his.
second site.
Oh man,
Yo,
I,
this movie is messed up.
really? Oh,
And it's the kind of found footage I like. I like that. I like the Lake Mungos. You know, um, Hell House LLC, the first one. The others kind of creep me out a little bit too much, but and they're not as well done as the first one. But yeah, I
oh,
like found footage when it's done like that. Not the paranormal activity, not that crap, but
yeah.
um, ooh, Michael, good question.
Oh yeah.
Did either of you watch Taken of Deborah Logan?
That
Yes, I saw that in the theater.
that
They
movie
showed
creeped
that
the
at a
hell out of
film
me.
festival. That was a good one.
That scene where she's in the cave. Oh my god,
Mhm.
man. That was nightmare fuel.
Uh, yeah, give it another watch. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, I got Q's attention with the Conjuring. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that
I
one.
like that movie a lot,
I've been dying to get a hold of that one.
especially us being YouTubers, because that was the whole premise behind it, and
Yeah.
they're trying to set it up like it's, they're doing it and it's fake, but you know, it ends up being something else. I want to thank everyone who's been keeping the chat going, everyone on the rewatch, everyone lurking. Thank you for keeping it live. And once again, if you have not done so already, you already see why you should go ahead and follow my man GC here, wherever at Face the Movies, Instagram, YouTube, description, you could find the link, but definitely do that. Great insight. As he said, he likes to watch movies that make him think and make him feel. So his reviews are very introspective according to that. The podcasts, the live streams are always on point. Keep doing your thing, man. You guys got a good thing going. So definitely keep doing your thing. I appreciate it as someone who's enjoying the content and looking forward to more. You're just out the starting gate, in my opinion. So I'm looking to see what else you're bringing to the table for sure.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I mean, it's really um just finding I think for me it was also finding my voice, because I knew what I wanted to do and it's just talk about films and
Hmm.
just be fully transparent and just myself. But it was also kind of finding my voice in the sense of, do I want to do reviews? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? And one thing that I've been trying to do is just go with what feels right.
Yeah.
Like just if this week I just want to maybe review something, I'll do it. If not, just talk about topics like, what like as a collector, what is stuff that I'm struggle with. And it just really depends. Like I take inspiration from day to day, real life, somebody
Yeah.
that that curates my stuff and loves films, loves soundtrack. When I have trouble one day finding something, like, oh, maybe that'd be a good topic to talk about, like what to do when you have trouble finding a soundtrack or alternatives.
Hmm.
And that's usually where the ideas kind of flow in.
I love it. I love it. So with that, as we start to land the plane, we will go to number five. Now that you've been on the conversation, number five, who would you like to see me have a conversation with on this channel?
Man, so I wrote down three people. I'll give you
Okay.
one, but I wrote down three people because I thought they would be perfect for the conversation. And let me actually
Okay.
take a quick gander here. All right. So somebody I think it's an amazing person to talk to, and he's actually an author. I just got one of his books. It's Tim from the Dread Broadcast and channel Average Reviews. So I've been on his panel every month now for the last 4 episodes. And one thing that he has in common with UKB is that he wants to bring people together, talk, share these experiences. And I think he's been doing such an awesome job, such a great dude. And he recently announced on Sunday he invited me to be a regular on his podcast along with his co-host Jonathan. So I think Tim
Mhm.
would be an amazing person to have. Um, I also mentioned Chris, the bearded film guy. Uh,
You're the second one.
dude,
Guys, go
Chris,
back. I
eh,
had him on already.
you did. Oh, dude, I was looking
Yeah.
on there to see, and I couldn't find it. So, but I was like, man, I'd be
This is
surprised
before
that
he
he
got
could.
married to Erica and everything, so you
Okay,
gotta go back,
yeah.
back.
And then
I had him when he first started his channel, so
that's what.
he's
Okay,
in
so
there.
that's what it is. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
I mean, like you saw yesterday. I mean, Chris is someone that's a plethora of knowledge. I mean, he has his Beyond the Blood podcast.
yeah,
And somebody else too that he recently started his channel. It's Lee, my co-host, Cinema Whiplash. Lee is an amazing dude. Known him since I was 16 years old. He lives and breathes cinema. And as you saw in the episode yesterday, he reads like
yeah,
crazy. And he's somebody that would be amazing to have on, have these conversations with. I mean, the topics would just so between Tim and Lee, you have some great people to have on.
yeah. Well, I know you could put me in contact with Lee, that's easy, but, definitely put me in contact with Tim, we'll make that happen for sure.
Absolutely. Oh,
That
and
will
it
definitely be an audio only podcast because something tells me he has a good voice. Something about a
absolutely, man.
voice does it. So, I wanna thank you again for coming on. This was fun. I didn't wanna end it, but, I'm also always trying to be respectful of everyone's time. Yeah, Chris is a popular guy.
Yeah.
Brian recommended him last week as well. Europa Report, one of my favorite found footage flicks. Okay,
I have
and
that
I'm
one.
just
Love it.
just going backwards up here. Probably my favorite with found footage movies, Deborah Logan. Um, Good one. Yep, talking about Ganjam now. Yeah, so definitely thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I knew it would be like this, man. I was telling myself, I was like, we're just gonna vibe. We're just gonna
Yeah.
vibe, and it's gonna be like, I'm not looking at the time, I'm not looking at questions. It's just gonna, like I said before, it's not called the interview, it's called the conversation, and you definitely upheld that. So I thank you.
Man, like I was saying, like that's why with my Cinema Rewind series, I had to kind of build sort of a structure to contain
Hmm.
myself. Because sometimes, man, I'm telling you, like when you have these type of passions like we do, you'll go into this wormhole. You'll talk about one film for one genre. Somehow you end up with some other book or something else, and next you know, it's like, man, it's been 3 hours. Like, how? What happened?
Yep.
But a ton of fun, man. I appreciate you inviting me, KB. This was a blast. I mean, absolute
Yeah.
blast. And everybody watching, it's so awesome to see like just people sparking these conversations and bringing up movies that they've seen or just talking about like agreeing with some of the stuff that we're talking about. And it's just exciting to see the chat blow up like that.
Yeah, and that's when you know you got a good conversation going on when everybody else starts hopping in and
Yeah.
they're adding their own comments or they're responding to what you said. Thank you again for everyone. Trini, I didn't even see you in here saying later. You see, just lurking, man. But salute, my dude. It's a Yankee fitted, just backwards. Don't worry about it. Yeah, but thank you everyone who's been hanging out with us. And as I always say, go watch a movie. We spoke about a whole bunch of them tonight, but definitely go watch a movie. Have a good night, everyone.
Later, guys. See you on the next one.